In this video, we're going to be checking out and testing a couple cases and screen protectors for the iPhone 16 Pro made by BODYGUARDZ. We have a clear ceramic glass screen along with a privacy screen. BODYGUARDZ also states that these screen protectors are 20 times stronger than the regular screen on your phone. They've got smudge resistance with lifetime replacements. And then for the cases, we have the Accent and the Ace Pro. Both of these cases have been drop tested up to 18 feet and they have MagSafe built in. So we're going to see how the cases fit and feel. We're also going to be doing a drop and a scratch test for these screen protectors. And I promise you by the end of this video, you'll know which one of these accessories are right for you. So let's get started. So first up, we're going to take a look at the Accent case. So as you can see, this is a totally clear case. We have MagSafe built in, and it comes with this nice little lanyard on the back. You can also remove this if you don't want the lanyard on there. It does have a firm hard back surrounded by a softer rubbery type material. Goes in the case pretty good. It does have a little bit of grip as well, and the buttons on the side are easily pressable. Nice and clicky. The only thing about these buttons is they are totally flush with the case. So it might be a little hard for you to actually find them if you're not actually looking at the phone yourself, like if it's in your pocket or something like that. Now if you take a look at the screen, now if you take a look at the case from the side, you can see it does have a very slight raised edge around the front of the phone. On the side here, you can see our separated volume buttons and our action button. We have our cutouts in the bottom. We have our power button and a cutout for the camera button on the side. On the back, it is nice and clear. We've got MagSafe built in, and it has a slight raised edge to protect your camera lenses. So let's test out the MagSafe. MagSafe works pretty good, charges your phone immediately. And it does have a okay magnetic hold on the back of the case. It's not the strongest that I've felt, but it should keep your MagSafe accessory on the back. It's just, again, it's not the strongest. Now let's test out our camera button. So you can pretty easily access that camera button. It is kind of deep inside the case, so you're gonna have to press your finger actually inside the hole a little more to actually get to that button. Let's test out our touch gestures. So it does seem to be working pretty good. Again, because it is a little deep, you're gonna have to press a little harder than normal to get to that button, but it does seem like it's workable. Would have been nicer if this cutout was a little bit more shallow. You can kind of see how deep it is. So I'm not sure why BODYGUARDZ actually opted to go with buttons like this that were actually exactly flush with the case, because they're pretty hard to find. You're not going to have a very easy time trying to find these buttons unless you're actually looking at the phone and you see where they actually are. It would have been nice if these would have protruded out from the case a little bit, and then the camera button is pretty deep inside. Again, it would have been nicer if this was a lot shallower. And then here we have the BODYGUARDZ Ace Pro Case. This case has been drop tested up to 18 feet and has MagSafe built in. So as you can see, it's kind of like a smoked clear. It does have a pretty flexible material all the way around the case, and the edge here is like a slight rubbery type material, and it does have MagSafe built in with that lanyard. Goes in the phone pretty easily. This case is not grippy. It does have a little bit of like some dimples on the side, but it doesn't really help out with grip. It just has a smooth plastic type feel to it. And just like the Accent, the buttons on this case they're flush with the side of the case, but they are very clicky and easily pressable. It's just going to be like you're not going to be able to find them very easily because the whole case feels exactly the same. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get on the front of our phone. You can see those little dimples on the side here, but it doesn't do anything for grip. We've got our separated volume buttons and our action button. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have those same little textures on the side. We have our flush power button with a cutout for the camera button. And this camera button, again, seems to be pretty deep inside the case. So we're probably going to run into the same issue. As you can see, it's got that clear smoked backing, so you can kind of see the color of your phone. We have our MagSafe, and we have a pretty decent raised edge for our cameras. Let's test out our MagSafe again. Charges your phone, no issue. As far as the hold, again, just like the Accent, it's not as strong as some of the other cases that I've tested. It will just keep your MagSafe accessory on your phone, but if it rocks around too much, it might fall off. But it should be good enough to hold your MagSafe accessory if the phone is not moving around. And then again, let's test out that camera button. So because it is pretty deep in your phone, you're gonna have to get your finger inside there to press the button, but it can be done. And let's test out the touch again. So it does seem to be working, but again, because it is so deep, you're gonna have to press your finger a little bit deeper down inside that hole to access your touch gestures. Yeah. So not a horrible case, but again, just like the Accent, I kind of wish that they would have made the buttons protrude off of the case so you can kind of feel where they are a lot easier. Maybe make some better texture to actually give the phone some grip. And then for the cutout, make it a little more shallow so you can easily press that button instead of having to get your finger down inside there. Now we're going to test out the BODYGUARDZ ceramic glass two-way privacy screen protector. So it looks like we get one screen protector, an installation tray, and some wipes. So the first thing we need to do is to thoroughly clean off our screen with the alcohol wipe. Then dry off your screen. Then take your phone, put it inside the guide with the cameras on the back going into the little holes here, just like this. Then you can use your wipe to kind of press the phone down inside the guide. Use your dust sticker to remove any dust. Then take your screen protector, making sure that where it says top is going towards the camera on your phone, and we're going to place the posts on the guide inside the little wings of the screen protector. We're going to peel off the underside sticker just like this. And then again, place those posts in the holes on the guide. Try to make sure that the screen protector doesn't touch the phone's screen yet. And then just kind of run your finger down the middle. Should start to adhere to your screen. And then once that's done, we can lift up on the top protector and we can kind of push our phone out from the back. Let's take a look. So we do have some bubbles kind of right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to lift the screen up a little bit to try to get those out because we don't have a squeegee. So I actually just ended up pushing out those little bubbles with my finger instead of lifting the screen, and it seemed to work out pretty well. So the screen protector looks pretty good. Installation was pretty easy. I don't see any bubbles, no lifting. The edges, actually there were some bubbles at the top I didn't see, but you can just press those out with your finger. Screen protector looks really nice. The edges are rounded off. It does have a clear portion for your sensors and your camera, and it does seem to have a pretty good gap all the way around the screen for case compatibility. As far as touch, super smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. As far as fingerprints, it does pick up some fingerprints on the screen, but very easily wipes away because of the oleophobic coating. Very nice looking screen protector. So let's test out our touch. Let's test out our Face ID. Face ID working fine. Let's test out our camera. and the camera looks nice and clear as well. Now you can see that the screen is dulled, and that's because of the privacy screen. And that's not just this privacy screen, it's every privacy screen that you're going to use. You will have to most likely raise the brightness up to kind of compensate for that. So here, as you can see, I raised it and everything looks nice and clear. Touch working fine. Screen looks nice and clear as well. No issues with touch. So now let's see what the screen looks like as if we were looking at it through polarized sunglasses. And as you can see, there's just a slight rainbow effect. Not horrible when you're looking dead on at the screen, but if you look at it from the side, the rainbow effect gets a little darker, but typically you're not going to be, looking at the screen from the side. And then as far as the privacy screen, when you tilt it to the sides, the screen kind of looks like it's shut off, which is pretty nice. And that only works side to side. It does not work up and down. So now let's see if any of the borders on the screen protector actually cut off some of the screen. So if we take a look, it looks like kind of in the bottom here, it might cut off a little bit, but in the other corners, it seems to be pretty good. And we know that because you can see these little white L's in each one of the corners, except for this one right here. It kind of gets cut off. So it's either a little bit misaligned, which I'm assuming it is, or the black border comes out a little bit more than it should, but I'm assuming it's just ever so slightly cut off from the edge. So not too bad. And then let's see if there's any bleeding from the edge of the screen protector. So as you can see, there's just a little bit of bleed from the side. And then on the other side here, just ever so slight. Not bad at all. If you have a case on your phone, you're not going to even see this. So now let's test out the case compatibility. Put it in our BODYGUARDZ case here. And it seems to fit the cases pretty much perfectly. We still do have a slight gap on the top and the bottom, and ever so slight on the sides. So it should be compatible with most cases. And if you're wondering about the raised edge for the Accent Pro case, you can see that with the screen protector, it's pretty much flush with the screen. So everything's looking pretty good for this screen protector so far. Now let's move on to the scratch and the drop test. So we're going to be dropping a 2.4 ounce steel metal ball at a starting height of 2 feet. If the screen protector doesn't crack, we'll move it up foot by foot until it eventually does. So here we go, 2 feet. Moving on to 3 feet. 4 feet. 5 feet. Wow. 6 feet. 6 feet. So this screen protector lasted up until a 6-foot drop. Now let's move on to the scratch test. Now typically regular tempered glass starts to scratch around a Mohs hardness number 6, so we're going to start off our test with the number 5. Then we'll move on to a number 6. And then a number 7. So if we take a closer look, you can see there are no scratches at the number 5. There are slight at a number 6 and a little deeper at a number 7. Sorry, it's hard to focus on these privacy screens. So scratch resistance is pretty standard for tempered glass. So installation for the screen protector was really easy. It also does seem to be case friendly. It lasted up until a 6-foot drop, and scratch resistance is pretty standard for tempered glass. So now let's take a look at the BODYGUARDZ clear ceramic glass screen protector. So we get one tempered glass screen protector, some installation wipes, and an installation guide. So again, the first thing we need to do is to thoroughly clean off our screen with the alcohol wipe, then dry it off. Then take your phone, and we're going to put it inside the guide with your cameras into this little camera hole here. You can kind of press that into place with your wipe. Then remove any dust with the dust sticker. Then take your screen protector, making sure that the top is going towards the camera on your phone and the white sticker is showing underneath the screen protector here. We're going to be putting the posts of the guide through the posts or the holes on the little wings here. So just peel off the underside's protector, place the holes through the little holders on each side, making sure the screen protector doesn't touch your screen yet. And then just run your finger down the middle and it should start to adhere to your screen. Then once that's done, we can peel off the top protector. We do have some bubbles in the side, so I'm gonna have to, there's quite a few, so I'm gonna have to lift up the screen to kind of get those out. So I was able to get those bubbles out by lifting up the screen. Looks pretty nice. We do have a little bubble or something in the right hand corner there that I'm not able to actually get out, but it does look like it has a pretty decent gap around the screen for case compatibility. The edges are also rounded off. As far as fingerprints, it does pick up some fingerprints in the screen, but you can very easily just wipe those away. As far as the touch, feels nice and smooth, just like the glass on the phone. It is also a full coverage screen protector, so it does cover your cameras. And the screen protector also has an anti-reflective coating on it, so you can kind of see from my studio light how it kind of dims down the light a lot more than it does on the regular phone screen. So let's test out our Face ID. Face ID is working fine. And as far as the camera also looks nice and clear. No issues there. You can see that it is nice and clear. Touch working fine. Now let's see what kind of a rainbow effect we get as if we were looking at it through polarized sunglasses. And you can see that the screen does have some rainbow effect. Depending on what angle you're looking at the screen, it might get worse or it might get better. And now since this screen does have a black border, let's check the camera to see if it cuts off any of the screen. So if we take a look here, it does look like the screen is pretty much aligned perfectly, and it doesn't look like it's cutting off any of the screen because we can still see all of the white L's in each one of the corners. So that's definitely a plus. Now let's take a look at any of the screen bleed, if there is any, on the side here. And it does look like there's just ever so slight, not horrible. Again, if you're using a case, you won't see this at all. On the other side, just a very slight bit. And then let's test out our case compatibility. And it looks like it fits the BODYGUARDZ cases perfectly. Again, we have a slight gap on the bottom, some on the top, and just a very tiny bit on the edges of the screen. But I don't see any bubbles, no lifting, so it should be case compatible with most cases. And then if you're wondering how much of the edge you get with the screen protector on your phone, we can see now that with the screen protector, the case edges are pretty much flush with the screen. So the screen protector is looking pretty good so far, really liking it. Now let's move on to the scratch and the drop test. So again, we're going to be starting off our test at 2 feet. Moving on 3 feet. Moving on to 4 feet. 4 feet. So this screen protector lasted up until a 4-foot drop. Now let's move on to the scratch test. So again, we're going to start off our test at a number 5. Then we'll move on to a number 6. And then a number 7. So if we take a closer look, you can see there are no scratches at the number 5. There are slight at a number 6 and about the same at a number 7. So scratch resistance seems to be pretty standard for tempered glass. So installation for the screen protector was really easy. It also does seem to be case friendly. It lasted up until a 4-foot drop, and scratch resistance is pretty standard for tempered glass. So I'm really interested to know what you guys think about these cases. Do you care if the buttons are flush against the phone? Do you like them to stick out a little bit? And how do you feel about the camera cutout? Do you want it to be deep inside the case, or do you like it to be a little more shallow? Let me know in the comments below. And if you guys want to pick any of these up, I will be putting product links in the video description as well. And if you guys enjoyed the video, it would really help out the channel if you gave me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.